bring our money back. My elite, so we want our money back. My elite, so bring our money back. My elite, so we want our money back. As so keep us ago, stealing for 100 people. I'm an name, who we carry complete up. Continue one for people, we're all our political. I let kind of story my people will listen to. Student now bring the school, not bring the safety billion. Not people fall in the street, bring the safety billion. Paper people in the ring, bring the safety billion. Musicians say not billion, bring the safety billion. We want a safety billion, so they can have their road. We want a safety billion for people in Locato. We want a safety billion, see you, we're killing people. That's why it's not a show. I'm fucking Jarango. My elite, so we bring our money back. My elite, so we want our money back. My elite, so we bring our money back. My elite, so we want our money back. Fighting for culture where I was a stipulation. That's when that anybody to back where there's a stipulation. Now they got telling me it's not for the stipulation. They can tell us we not get no stipulation. Now making fun of go walk and fun of stipulation. Go walk for the limit. Second me in comment. Go walk for security. The flying will continue. My elite, so we bring our money back. My elite, so we want our money back. My elite, so we bring our money back. My elite, so we want our money back. Yeah, MC Carol, I'm saying bring our money back. Silence individual.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Tony Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. The weekend is upon us. We rise on this 21st day of August 2021. On this side of the United States of America, we are getting prepared for a hurricane. You know, those bad winds and rain that go over 150 miles per hour. They come our way tomorrow morning, and people are getting prepared, bordering up their stores, their windows, to prevent them from shattering, taking their boats out of the water. Some of them, the small ones, taking them out, putting them, securing them on land, securing the big boats with protective things all around them, so when the wind hit them and they gotta bang against each other, you have those sponge protection between them that keep them safe. They're advising people to keep off the beaches because the wave will be high. Some professionals who feel they can go out there to try their luck. All the beach lovers who love to see high waves, they say you should stay at home, see it on TV. I don't know how you can see it. I guess it could be letting the see the crew out there, the news crew. So you just stay home, let the news crew go out there and show you it on TV. Protect your homes. There will be a lot of flooding, especially in Providence, Rhode Island. You know, it's quick to flood in this area. Protect your homes, protect your businesses. There will be wind gusts over 60, 70 miles per hour today, maybe tomorrow. So take heed and govern yourselves accordingly. saying Tony Commander Galpohkpa Chesson woke you up this morning with a message. You better pay attention. You better pay attention. Stay alert. Stay alive. That's the word. Let's get into my lesson. Okay, this morning we wake up to our still messed up situation in Liberia, to our still useless situation of leadership. We wake up to all the confusion, the constitutional uselessness going on in Liberia. Big men and women can't interpret their own constitution. Something wrong. Something gotta be do. Something gotta be do. Gotta do something. Something's gotta be do. Our country just can't be running amok like this, man. Everybody there writing letters, trying to explain things, and the letters don't make no damn sense. What's going on, man? What's going on? So let's get into my lesson. First, let's start with this former list my topics first. My topics for the day are former Defense Minister Brownie Samukiai's challenge. 2, challenges confronting Liberia's coalition political parties, CPP. 3, will there ever be genuine peace in Liberia? Let's start with my first topic. Former Defense Minister Brownie Samukiai's challenge. First of all, we got to ask ourselves, is the court in error? Was the Supreme Court in error in its previous decision or initial decision regarding the case of Brownie Samukiai? We know that Brownie Samukiai case involves him setting money aside, setting as defense minister. He decided on his own with his buddies to take $20 of the soldiers' pay and put it in a separate account to serve as something like a pension for the soldiers. So when they finish, they can come home and have the money. I think it was the soldiers who were abroad. So he took out his money and set it aside for them. He wasn't authorized by any law to do that. It wasn't his prerogative. He took upon himself as minister to do this. So he did it. So he set this cash aside. The money grew. That was not his money. That was the soldiers' money. He had no authority to take the people's money, to do anything with it, other than give them their money. But he took upon himself to open his account for the soldiers. Nothing wrong with that. But when you take that initiative, you're responsible for it. So he opened the account. This other Ellen Johnson selling woman went abroad and made a commitment to the international community of submitting Liberian soldiers to peacekeeping efforts around Africa. She knows she didn't have the money. She knows the government had no means of getting that money to support her grave initiative of reciprocating help to other countries, to the international community. Because they help us, she felt that she has some obligation to take a step to help other people too. So this is what she did. She made that commitment. She comes home, she ain't got no money. So she spared the soldier money in the bank account that she called Brownie. She said, Brownie, come here. She said, Brownie, I see you got $1 million in there for the soldiers. Brownie said, yeah, man, I put it aside for the soldier. She said, but then I finished making this commitment. We got money. Can you give us that money so I can use it to fulfill this commitment and send our soldiers $1 million plus to send our soldiers on this peacekeeping mission? And I will talk with George Weah so George Weah can forgive the debt and put it back, put that money back, forgive it, whatever arrangement you I made with you to put the soldier money back. George Weah will put the money back. George Weah agreed. Ellie Johnson agreed at that time. They took this money, gave it to Ellie, send the soldiers everything. We don't know whether that money was actually used for that purpose. But they said they used it for that. Come now to George Weah's turn. George Weah refused to give the soldiers the money back. The soldiers coming home now and want the $20 they be saving every month. Good bit of money. Every month they've been taking $20 from your account to save so you can have the pocket change to come home. In case you finish your other pocket change over there, they don't want sitting down. These soldiers come, they give them a check, receipt, no money. They go to the bank, they won't give it to the bank. They say, oh, no money, you got to go back to the defense ministry. Come to find out, no money there. George Weah get up, he said, I'll pay that money back. And I agree with that arrangement. Me and Eddie Johnson said he made there was no arrangement. There was nothing in writing. There was no commitment of the government in any form of writing. So George Weah refused to pay the money. So now he refuses to pay the money. The soldiers want that money. Somebody bring the suit against Brother Samukiai and his boys to pay this money in the lower court. Conversion. They didn't steal it. There's a difference between stealing and conversion. Conversion is a kind of stealing, but it's not all right stealing. Conversion is when you have authority over the money. And your job is to pay the soldiers. But instead of paying the soldiers, you say, no, let me take small their pay and put it aside for them. Nothing wrong with that. But when you take that money, you put it aside for them, and you use it for any other purpose that it was not intended for, you have converted that money. It's not stealing because you have control over the money. That was government money. The minister had control over the money to get the money and pay the soldiers. That was the job. But when he took some of the money and put it aside for the soldier, he violated the law. That was the first thing. He had no authority to do that. So when he did that, he set that money aside. Still, there was nothing wrong with that. But when he took that money and gave it to Ellen, and they couldn't put it back, that's where the problem came. We are refused to pay it back. Now, instead of Brownie Samukai's lawyer bringing Ellen Johnson in as a co-defendant, because she made Brownie Samukiai take this money, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. And there's nothing wrong with him going after Ellen Johnson selling now. Because he can pay that money and still go after Ellen Johnson selling. I don't think the statute have told. So that's the situation right now. So they charged Brownie Samukiai with conversion, put him in court for him guilty. He appealed, went to the Supreme Court. Now, this is where I think the Supreme Court made a mistake. Instead of telling the man pay the money or go to jail, or giving him an extra number of time to pay that money, the Supreme Court split the sentence. Nothing wrong with that if you're in a civilized society, or more advanced society where people understand what you're doing. Our country is coming out of this kind of situation of war and distrust and deception and lies. And our court has to be very mindful of how they execute the law or interpret the law or make the law. Because whatever you do to make the law, interpret the law, that our people do not understand, you create problems within our society, then the court is held responsible. And this is where we are with this Brownie Samukiai case. Because instead of the court telling the man, pay this money, so and so, or go to jail, the court split the sentence. The court told him pay half of the money, and you can get certified, and you got so long to pay the rest of the money, the balance of the money. And that's what the court did. But under our law, a criminal cannot excel to any position until his crime and his punishment is complete. And nobody can tell the justice minister what to do. The justice minister is a official of the court. He's an officer of the court. So he sits there and listens to what the court's saying. And once the court makes a decision, the justice minister is the executive. He executes the law. If the court says you can't pay until you pay half, then they pay the other half, that doesn't mean anything to the justice ministry. You are a criminal. The court has convicted you. They can extend your sentence any way they want, but you are still a convicted criminal until you satisfy the punishment. So nobody will go to tell the justice minister, or the court say you must go do this. No. Once the court gives its decision, the justice minister acts, because that's his job. The court interprets the law, makes the law, and the executive executes the law. So once the court sentenced this man, it was the justice ministry job to take it from there, which they did, albeit with errors. But eventually they did it. The minister wrote, the NEC got permission to withhold this man's certification until he fulfills the terms of the law after his sentence, which the NEC did. Brownie Samukiai appealed it, the judge kicked it down, and followed the law. They were blaming the judge, yeah. Now they come again, he's before the Supreme Court. The very court that made the split decision has come now and told him, no, you must complete your term before you get certified. That's the law. That's the law. And you can't say that Joe and Peter did it before, so the court can't do it now. They must follow Joe and Peter. No, they don't have to follow it. Once the court is following the law, is the law. They don't have to follow the other court decisions. They don't have to follow the other court's rationale. And if you look at our precedent, we had no court that had ever punished a minister for something like this. I don't think so. Go look at our court's records. I don't think any government official has been punished or held from taking government positions or being certified or certificated because they were found guilty by the court. So this is a precedent. And once the court setting down the rule, we got to go by it. And if you say we want peace and stability in Liberia, then you got to follow the laws. You got to say, oh, the Nima people will respond. Will go. Yeah, let the Nima people respond. We'll fuck them. What you think there is a cheering show? You elected the government. The government appointed their judges. So you either sit and wait for our turn to be finished so we can have more accountability of the judges and move against them for bad behavior, because they can be removed for bad behavior. And you can't move them for no other reason. So unless and until we got people who will sue these people and cause the ethics committee or whatever it is that governs the court and ethics to look at their action and decide whether they should be removed or not. We can't do it. We can't do it. And you can't get pissed off and see the Nima people will respond. What the Nima people will say. I love how people sorry. I'm so used to the Nima people. They cut it all the troublemakers. So yeah, we are. So Barney Samaka got to pay that money. You can't come up with part of the money and want a man to be certificated when he's a criminal under the court and he has not fulfilled his sentence. When you go back, let him pay the rest of the money. You see, personally, I don't care. I know there's corruption and criminal BS been going on for ages. But if we must start somewhere, we must start somewhere. We must start somewhere. And you can't, our national security is important. Right now, our national security is paramount. To play with the soldiers' money is not in the best interest of supporting our national security, of promoting our national security, of buttressing our national security. No, you can't play with those people's money. You got to give the people their money. So this is the thing we're facing right now. And that's Brownie Samukiai's challenge. And I'm so glad the court not taking that money small. But I still feel the court should have been more forthwith with the sentencing of this man. And the court is partly to blame for all this BS going on. Because you cannot split the man's sentence. In our country is already facing problems with illiteracy. Problem with people understanding the rule of law. Problem with people following the rule of law. And you cannot be a contributing factor to that problem. The court's supposed to be an alleviating factor of all the mess going on in Liberia. All the stealing and lying and deceitfulness and betrayal and treacherous behavior go on. Our courts supposed to be more forthwith and above all the free. But when we participate in it and we give credence to some of the stupid things that go on, then we create more problems than we can handle. We create real problems. So here we are again. And we got to be realistic and truthful in handling our situation to solve them. So Brownie Samukiai got to bring that money. He got to pay that money. Or he sued Ellen Johnson Sally. Excuse me. Or he sued Ellen Johnson Sally for her share. She's a culprit in all of this. She's an active participant in all of this. Because as leader, you know something is wrong. You can't convince other people to do it. Now the man is in trouble. He got to pay this money. And we don't really know about your involvement in it. So we need some clarity. We need some fourth witness. Somebody got to tell us what happened here. Because we want peace and stability in our country, but we also want people to follow the law. We're tired with this lawlessness. We're tired with everybody just taking the laws in their damn hands and thinking that they can do everything they want to do. So the court made an error ab initio in the first place. But now the court has stood by the Justice Department, Justice Ministry, saying no. The Constitution says you got to fulfill your criminal obligation. You are sentenced. He is sentenced. It's just that he's not jailed. But he is sentenced already. And his sentence is to pay that money back or go to jail. So he's just walking around, hanging on a thread until the date comes to pay that money. So here we are again. Our courts cannot be contributing to the misunderstanding of our laws and the problems in our society. If the court want to be creative with the sentencing, they got to make it clear to the people that this man, yes, the sentence is split, but he can't be certified. You can't tell the people the man will go be certified or he got a right to take the job, take a position. He ain't got no damn right. Because the Justice Ministry can act to stop it as a culprit, a criminal. So that's the only problem, you know. And this is where the confusion coming from with our people. Because our people saying the court say, oh, the man can go free, the man can get his certificate. That's not what the law says. That's not what the law says. And you can't construe the court's decision as a misinterpretation of the law. No. That's what we call the Justice Ministry and all these people listening to the court to act when the court says certain things. Because just as much as the court has the duty to interpret the law, the Justice Department and Ministry has the responsibility to enforce the laws already in the book. So the law says you will finish your term before you can assume office. You got to finish your term. You got to fulfill the obligation. So Brownie Samukiai, are you lofa people? You're going to pay that money. You'll pay that money. Or your boy can't practice. He can't be senator. We put a man that he go steal our money again. That's another problem. So let him learn his honesty lesson and pay that money back and know that we got laws in our country. We got rules and regulations that must be upheld and fulfilled. Aluta, the time of the people. Okay, let's get to our second lesson. Here we are with the same CPP and useless leadership. We talk about we are, all the things we say about we are. Then you look at CPP, you got to ask yourself, are these people better than we are? These people got college degrees. These people went to real school. Before we are, I didn't know about nothing about doctor. On the we are king, now we know about doctor. And we know what is doctor. We know about the doctor, he wants the soul he eats. He wants the fat coming out of his butt. Opa the doctor come from Nollywood, the actor. You gotta excuse me. I never have a doctor, this idiot got doctor. I tell people to struggle for one doctor degree. You see what idiots do, man? You see what ignoramuses do? You know, we in the academic area, we fight to get one doctor degree. Yeah, the other buffalo come here. He got doctor. Yeah, gonna help me, man. My country people are helping me laugh. You know? I said, damn. That's why I ain't gonna get no doctor degree, because everybody want doctor and shit. And I'm fighting to get one degree. This man, this other idiot got 2-3 degrees. And all of them from schools in Liberia. Damn. How backward can we be? This is a real joke, you know? Oh, Lord. Help me. Find out down. You know, doctor from all the useless schools in Liberia. Not from a broad cell, from in Liberia. Huh? Ah, Lord. The people there tampering with everything good, man. Now, here we are. We got to look at the challenges that this other useless coalition is facing. I heard a song they made 5 years ago about CPP, how we got to leave them because they this and that. That song is not new song, but old song became. But it's just disgusting because everything they say in that song, they have some real component to them. They have some real competence. Because the people are just useless. I mean, and you see the part about it, it started with LP. Now LP has drawn the whole CPP into their mess. And all people Benin UA is there, totally frame of this useless bullshit. And this is not right, man. Because it demonstrates that our educated people not much different than George Weah. So our choices are slim. When I look at these people in CPP behaviors, and the incompetence, and the deceitfulness, and the treachery, then I look at George Weah, we hear doctor, his ignorance, his blindness, his betrayal by these useless people around him. I gotta wait. At least George Weah is useless, and the people around him are the traitors and the deceitful people. But the other people here, they're the educated people, and they're useless. They don't need nobody around them. I mean, it just exudes, just come out of them, the uselessness. You know, sympathy as a constitution. That is the foundation of any organization. Even Liberia, the constitution gave the organization life. It breathes life in the organization because it tells us what the organization is about, what's the purpose of the organization, what's the mission of the organization, what's the function of the officers of the organization, and how the organization functions. That's the purpose of the constitution. That's why they say it breathes life into any organization, into any country. Because that's the foundation of how the country should function. how the officers should behave, how the system should be run. That's why the Constitution gives life. It's a life-giving document. And if you give it to idiots, and the idiots rely on it to start the organization, then they go on, they want to betray themselves and be deceitful to the people. The Constitution cannot serve the organization. Because if there are subtle attempts at changing the framework of the organization, it can't work. And Benana's statement and letter ain't got nothing to do with the CPP. You see, but he interjected himself to break the CPP down. And this kind of behavior is another behavior that will cause problem in the country, because this is not damn college politics, Benana here. This is not University of Liberia or Cotton University politics. These are people's lives you're dealing with. These are people's livelihood you're dealing with. And you people got to understand, because the more you mess up and screw up and don't know what you're doing and think you're playing college politics, our people suffer. The masses of people can't eat. But you can sit there and eat. And our poor, ignorant people will play the game with you at their own detriment. And we can't continue on this trend. Now let's look at this shit. Liberty Party is a useless party. The whole framework of that party is useless. People still refer to that party as Basso People Party. You hear some of the people calling them the Basso People Party. That's not a Liberian People Party. Then you got the main players in there who are Basso people, are the same people fussing about constitution, about rule of law, and who they fuss against? The outsider, the Madingo man, the criminal that they brought themselves into the organization and gave power. You see, man, when you got stupid people leading an organization, and it is evident, depicted by their behavior and their action, then the people won't lead our country. What do you expect for a man like me to think? If the people can't follow their constitution, if they do use every attempt to bamboozle the NEC, the National Election Commission, to retrieve a document that the Election Commission has told them, no, we're not giving it back to you. That's all Benana interjecting himself in it, to be deceitful and deceive the NEC, to give them that letter back under some kind of pretext that he needed an original copy. I want to kick that useless man and go now as well. I read that shit in the newspaper. People are real cutting the politics. Or get other document back and one, check the original with a copy to ascertain this and that. I'm going to just slap that idiot in the face. I say, oh yeah, you want to read that? You want a real document? Take that, dummy. What you think our country to play with? As soon as I read that letter from Benana, I said, look at the other stupidness. When you need the NEC document to ascertain whether that's the original document in your organization. If your organization ain't got the original document, that's your damn problem. Ask the NEC for a copy. What you want the original for? To check against the other copy. I mean, the corruption is just so stupid and childish. You know, get us a copy, get us the original so we can bring it in our office and check against it. Then when we bring it back to you, we'll bring you another copy and see that the original you get us. You see how the people run our government. Then I listen to Liberia Public Radio today and listen to Zawolo. They call him Professor Zawolo. He talking about this Brownie Samukiai problem and all this thing going on because Brownie Samukiai are part of UP and all of that. They should go sit with Wea and talk with Wea so Wea can drop this whole case. You see how the people that play with our laws? These are young people coming up that are supposed to be the next leaders of Liberia. Instead of implementing our laws and ensuring that these people pay their money back and get punished, he talking about going to talk with George Weah to drop the case. And these are the same people that are talking about in the cause of the people. These are the same people accusing the Congo people of stealing. And that's the kind of peace-sake behavior they got. That's the kind of leave-it-alone behavior they got. Why that thing I want to cost that idiot so much? Because Zawolo is one of the people that always on the Congo people. The Congo people did this. Now you catch this rule. Instead of punish the rule, you talking about you want to go talk to the president to drop the problem. And look at all the cases springing up in Liberia. Nobody can do nothing because everybody got money to bribe somebody. Everybody got money. When people can bribe you $10 you know there's health in Liberia. $10 even fasting. It's not even a nickel. Somebody bribe you $10. We got some serious problem in the country. Serious problem. But here we are. Everywhere we turn, we see the corruption. We see the masses stealing. But yet we yell at people talking about, take it to the president, let the president solve it. Let them forgive them. Let them forget about it, man. They will want justice. That's the same thing with April 1980. They killed my pa. They killed 13 men for nepotism. The same damn Ellen Johnson Sirleaf charged these people with nepotism. Then she comes 2006 and filled a government with her own children after killing our fathers, participating in the killing of our fathers. Then she come back. But the first deceitfulness was when they in charge said they're coming back to fight for the pioneer children. Which pioneer children? Which pioneer children they can't fight for? You see when we buy into all this stupidness, and I hear Liberian people talking all this stupidness too. I say, you see, we deserve to suffer. Our concept of justice, rule of law, equality, they all screwed up. You cannot implement injustice to other people and cry for justice for yourself. You can't violate the rule of law against other people, then expect other people to serve the rule of law upon you. Are you crazy? And this is the craziness of our country. Y'all kill innocent people for nepotism. Then you will cry for justice. And Ellen Johnson doing the worst nepotistic practice ever in Liberia history. And you're still honoring a woman. Honoring a woman. Idiots. Then when I talk, they say, why you call people idiots and native and country? Judge me not, or you be judged. Judge me not. Let's get to my third topic. Because you see the challenges facing CPP. They got some serious challenges. And when it revolves around the Constitution, it revolves around dishonesty. It revolves around corruption. It revolves around national security issues. It revolves around issues of trust and confidence. Anytime you hear constitutional issues and people fighting, talking about, oh, this law not right, people alter with the law. How the hell people will alter with the law after 1 year? You see no problem. Then all of a sudden, the framework of the organization, somebody tell you the framework mess up. You can't go take the framework you got and review it and see whether it mess up. You come in the public eye you want. We call the Constitution from the NEC and the McEwen to you because of what? But this is the problem we suffer with our leader over. And this is why we can't have genuine peace. And we're going to keep asking ourselves, would there ever be genuine peace in Liberia? Because even on a Tottenham and Togo time, we did not have genuine peace. We always had to watch out for protests, for this, for that. There were always some stupid thing. See? But when the society feels empowered to be a part of everything that the government is doing, our government and officials are protected. They are protected just because of their own merits. But when we have people whose challenges are far more than they can handle, like you see people right now, like I told you, they got trust issues, they got corruption issues, they got deceitfulness issues, they got treachery issues. Anytime you're dealing with constitutional issues, those are the issues it revolves around. So when you hear people talking about, oh, the Constitution, somebody alter the Constitution, somebody mess with this, it's all boiled around trust, honesty, deceitfulness, lies, treachery. It can't revolve against nothing but those things. And there's no way we have these things all above us and seek for lasting peace. There's no way. So we have to find out ourselves where we stand in this whole discombobulated BS. Where do we stand? Do we have a place? Do we have a choice? If that's the question, we always had a choice. But did we know we had a choice? That's the question. Did we know we had a choice to change our destiny, to change our way of life? Yes, we always had that. But people made us believe we don't have. Our leaders have robbed us of our integrity, of our right to stand up and question things. And when they rob us, we become puppets. We become their baby dolls that people just play with. But for everything we do, there's a price. Everything we do, there's a price. And that price comes in the form of challenges. Challenges. Because when we have an enlightened society, when we have a society that acts based on information, on the right to know, it's a different ball game. Then our leaders can't come and tell us BS and tell us somebody told us something in the Constitution. They can't put the person, oh, was something in the Constitution and more investigation. Bullshit. Bullshit. Nobody getting up and just investigating things out of the blue. We ain't got nothing else to do between now and 2023 to investigate CPP Constitution on some bogus BS. Because just as the front page Africa said, you gotta tell us what's wrong. You said that the framework is messed up. Where? Why? How? If somebody told you something, then you gotta let us know that something somebody told you. But you not let us know that something, you just can't say somebody told you something. And we'll go change the whole constitution, set up constitution committee, pay money again to set up people to investigate what? Something somebody told you. That's why I told you, I said they're not cutting on university politics where students ain't got nothing to do but investigate. They ain't got nothing to do. But yeah, I am a rusty cluster man. They want to go investigate. Something here, something there. I'll just go look for something. Like a crazy man. What kind of crazy thing is that? And that come from my boy Ben and I too. That shit that cutting up politics. Oh, somebody told me something. I can't tell you who told me, but I saw it. They say that whole paperwork mess up. I'm gonna change it around. Well, we spent 20 hours doing that thing. Yeah, the guy said, oh yeah, I'm going to investigate that whole thing. Why? Oh, somebody told me something. Somebody? You see how people that act? This is somebody told us something so much, just change everything. We must spend all this money to review everything. We can't continue on this trend. We need to take a step back, look ourselves in the mirror, and we reevaluate our society, our thinking, our behavior, our call for justice, our call for equality, our call for the rule of law. We cannot call for those things that are good of virtues when we don't have virtues in us ourselves. We got to have the capacity to want the goodness of this world before we can call for it. But when we do not possess the capacity within us, how can we have the light to invite all these good things into us? When we are selfish, because of pure selfishness. Or we kill those people and it doesn't matter, we forgot about them, let's just move on. That's selfishness. You can't kill my power for something that I see Eddie Johnson said he doing worse than ever before in our whole history. And you ain't erased that thing yet. I think that'll be erased from our history. But it's up to you. It's up to you. Y'all got to make this call of whether or not we need or want or should have genuine peace and stability in our country. And if that's our decision, we got to tread on a different path. We can't tread on deceitfulness and ignorance, because if we say, oh, we forgot that the people in 1980, we forgot that we killed them for nepotism, then we are ignorant. Then we are just monkeys with our sense. because there is no way I can be at peace except I'm one of those April 22nd dummies. I can be with my peace within myself when I know Eddie Johnson said he participated in the killing of my people for nepotism. Then she come and put her whole family in our government and act like it's right and nice and bring her little baby grandson to teach these native dummies in our house. And they're sitting down there acting like they're educated and well. And these are the people messing up our country today. These are the same people Ellen Johnson said they brought her 12-year-old grandchild to teach about oil. You just forgot that shit? These dummies sat down and listened to a 12-year-old boy talking about a paper he wrote in class about oil. So he was qualified enough to come sit before the dummies of Liberia. Because they know our Baba D leaders ain't got no questions. Well, that's what it is. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad that I can take my time every morning because of love of my country to do this, to come to educate my people, whether you like it or not, so that it's documented that there was a Liberian who pointed out the wrong of my people, who told them, no, you can't kill people for something, and permit the same people to do the same thing to us. This is what happened. We allow one group of Liberians to kill our fathers and our people, and another group of Liberians to come and benefit from the same acts of murder, deceit, and lies of the Liberian people perpetrated against one sector of our citizenry. How can I sleep when there is total blindness in my country? How can I sleep or rest when my people are just blind to everything, their own existence, following warlords and voodoo and juju and all these unsavory things that contribute nothing to the wholesome functioning of our society? But I gotta go. Tonight I will have Jim Finns with me, the president of the NACC Providence branch. We're going to talk about some issues in Providence. I would ask him about the thing that go on with the police cameras that we see the Providence police spitting on people and beating them up. Now 2 officers suspended will pay pending investigation for their inhumane treatment of a human being. So I hope you all can show up. I will see if I can have my line open so we can call and you all can ask Jim Finns some questions. Okay? The time of the Liberian people is now. We got the duty and responsibility to change our society. The time is now. Follow Commander Chesson. Follow Commander Chesson. And let me lead you on the right path. No confusion, deception, no lies, and no bullshit. Like these guys leading Liberia today. Follow Commander Chesson and let me lead you to the light. The real light, not that broken light or Dara's dealing. Follow Commander Chesson. My lesson is done for this day. I see you tonight. Join me with the president of the NACP. Let's talk some Providence issues. Let's talk some black issues. Let's get the word out. The time of the people, the true people of the world is now. Aluta! Continue. Have a good day. I see you later on. Follow Commander Chesson. I see you later on.